Welcome to the third episode here on the Posting In podcast. It's been a while since we had our last episode. We just had to wait for a special guest there, and we actually have a very special guest with us today. We'll introduce him now, and he was drafted in the fourth round, 105th overall in the 2007 NHL draft by the Colorado Avalanche. He was also a part of the Carolina Hurricanes, the Washington Capitals, and the Edmonton Oilers. He spent most of his career with Edmonton Oilers, up and down. He retired at the age of 34 to become a coach for the Oshawa Generals, and he just took them to the finals. Introducing Brad Malone. How are you?
Thanks. Well, that's a very polite introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, worked on that one for sure.
Yeah.
Julian
did a lot of the work.
Yeah, he's helped us with the work, definitely. Yeah.
We're more of the tech kind of guys, me and Jesse. Anyways, we're just ready to get going here.
So to get started, we watched some of your fights last week. You had some good ones, some pretty good ones, some pretty bad ones.
I had one bad one. Like, come on.
Are you talking about the 2-2 one?
Well, yeah, obviously. Besides that.
That's agreeable.
Yeah,
besides that, I don't think I lost. I mean, I didn't win a ton, but I didn't lose any that one.
No.
Like that's an L.
Yeah.
It's
pretty tough fighting Jordan too. Got to be brave to fight him.
Wow. I mean, I wasn't so brave afterwards.
No, yeah. It was a good fight, though. It was good too.
Was there anyone in the league that you wanted to fight?
Yeah, is there like a certain person?
That's a good question. I don't know. Like, I think for me, I tried to
just set the tone.
I tried to make other guys hate me. So it was
more.
I tried to play that energy past and try to bring emotion to the game. And there was, a couple of instances over my career where I knew I was going to have to fight. And it was kind of staged, and those moments were tough. I didn't enjoy that part of the job, but playing physical and kind of drawing guys in is certainly, I love that part of it. It was a good job.
Yeah, it's what you have to do to get a spot. I mean,
you see some players who they're just there just to fight, and you fought a lot earlier in your career and later in your career you kind of slowed down a bit. So I was just wondering there too.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me, just as I got older, I just tried to be more reliable away from the puck and tried to
not be in the box all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, I still found my way to the box from playing aggressive. There was a fine line, but I don't know if it was after the lockout or just the value of a tough guy, like to be one of those heavyweight guys in the NHL. It's hard. I would say that I probably didn't have the best reach. So everyone in my weight class, I just, I was willing to bat. I was willing to fight, but I wasn't very good at it.
Yeah.
So, and as you alluded to, I mean, I didn't win many. So I just tried to, go back to my roots and found a coach that, liked me as a hockey player in terms of how I thought the game and checked. And, I just kind of dug into that role and tried to help young guys like yourselves try and get back to the National Hockey League. So that's kind of where I started to like.
Yeah. We were talking about later in your career, you were longest serving captain in Bakersfield history.
But the organization's only 10 years old, so don't like.
Oh, okay. Okay. So how'd you try to be a leader and try to be a mentor for the younger ones getting ready to go in the NHL?
Well, I guess I was just in Moncton this past weekend at the Heart and Stroke charity event, and I think for me getting back home and spending a lot of time with people from home, the Maritimes, I think I try to just treat people the way that we all do. I think we're just try to be good to everybody. I try to respect everyone. Being inclusive, I know that word has a lot of meanings, but for me, everyone felt welcome. I felt like as a captain, as soon as you walk into the locker room, there was no egos. There was no, different treatment for a rookie or a vet or a call up. Even the staff, I felt like just trying to create a culture of everyone coming to work and being in a good mood and enjoying spending time with each other. Obviously, the more camaraderie and the more communication and fun you have when you're not working, then the more you want to work hard and execute and, go on long runs. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
it's kind of what I did.
Yeah. I got another question here for you. You played with some great players, all the teams you played with, but we got a question about McDavid and Draisaitl. Were they made in the lab? We got it now. Like,
yeah, they
what's
real?
it like? What's it like playing with them?
And how is he as a Captain McDavid? Like,
yeah, Connor's. Yeah, I mean he's motivated. Like the things he does. Like even for example at training camp, like we're there for 3 or 4 hours and they're long hard days, and then when we're done, like I'm done, like I'm going to take a nap. At that time, I was exhausted, and he's going back to his place he called it the lab. Like he was always just continue to work on his craft, and you could see that, like the younger guys, like Dylan Holloway, like for me is an example where he kind of caught on to just how Connor conducted himself, and Halsey really like dove into that, even more than he already did as a young pro, and now he's starting to find success. And I think a lot of credit can go towards, Connor leading in the way that he did. Like he's an incredible human. He, just like I touched on about like being welcoming, like you walk into the room, he's the greatest player, on earth right now. And he shakes everyone and welcomes everybody. Like his front door is always open for guys that are in the hotel. Like him and his wife are incredible people. Like she's so welcoming as well in the wives room. Like really they set the tone and the culture there. And obviously just what he does as a player it's ridiculous. I wouldn't say he's made in a lab because he works at it, but he's certainly like
he worked for it though.
He's a special kind of player. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, he works.
Have a lot to. Yeah, but that's what we got to do to be that good. You got to work that much. So.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing where, like, for me now as a coach, like when you talk about like working hard, if I asked you guys if you worked hard today, and you'd be like, "Yeah, of course I did," I'd be like, but someone else is probably somewhere else trying to do the exact same thing you are. Like, did you outwork everybody that you're competing with, like your age group? That's kind of the standard now with sports being so focused.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, talking about coaching, how do you take your time throughout the NHL and put it into your coaching now that you're coaching the Oshawa Generals?
You're coaching some pretty good players, like in Callum Ritchie and Seneca.
Yeah, I mean, for me, just
Seneca.
Yeah. Either way, no, I honestly like their talent. They're extremely talented, and I think for me, it's just kind of going back to the McDavid effect, like just trying to explain to them, what it's going to take for them to find success at the next level, and trying to make sure that the work that we are putting in as a group is, professional standard. I think they're young pros that have bright futures, so just trying to give them a foundation that's geared towards learning and continuing to get better every day. I think it's it's a mix of everything, but at the end of the day, you got to have a good human connection with everybody. You got to understand that the coaching is coming from a place of love or a place of respect.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So we'll get back to your NHL career here. What's your favorite or most memorable memory from your career?
That's it. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Like scoring your first goal is amazing. Your first game is amazing. For me, I think it comes down to playing in playoff games. I think those are just the most magnified.
That's what you play for.
That must be something.
Yeah,
the big ones.
Yeah, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And for me, getting that opportunity, later in my career to play with Edmonton, those last couple of games in the conference finals was, two of the biggest games I've ever played in. And the results aren't what we wanted at the time. But now to just see, a majority of those guys still now finding success like a few years later,
Yeah.
like I was so happy to be a part of it then. And then now I'm just even, I'm so proud of,
Yeah.
again, it's all about the work, man. Like the work that those guys put in is just like, now they're starting to get rewarded. They didn't get frustrated. They continued to work and buy in, and now they're 4 wins away from doing it. So I'm
Yeah.
pumped for 'em.
Rematch in the finals.
They're doing it.
What do you think about that now? The rematch. You think they got them this year?
I love it, man.
I mean, yeah,
The way they're playing right now, I think they got them.
I like the fact that they got the first 2 games at home. Obviously, that building's going to be buzzing. That's it's huge to get off to a good start.
Yeah.
With the break, everyone gets to get healthy. Everyone's going to kind of come in with a clean slate. Health
by the finals, you can tell teams are beat up.
Yeah.
It's a war, man. It's a war.
It's rough. Yeah. Like it's playoffs is just insane. I find like the amount of games you have to play and like the roughness and stuff too. It's just I don't know how to keep up with it.
The toughest 16 games, like the toughest wins you'll ever have to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even at the junior level this year, like I just thought the guys like in Oshawa. It was demanding. Yeah. They they did a great job, and I mean you deserve a lot of credit for, that type of work. There's a lot of sacrifice at that point, right? Like just you're playing through injuries and you're playing through pain. Like that's not an easy thing to do.
No, but you got to do it though. That's a part of hockey. I mean,
you guys played a very tough team in London.
Yeah, London.
They just won the Memorial Cup last night.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to talk about that one.
Talking about coach, and you didn't start as the head coach. You were a development coach. So what was it like being moved as the interim head coach? Like having to turn them around and actually getting them to the finals.
Start from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, I think again for me, it's just like I touched on, just trying to create an environment of positivity, but work and learning. I think again, you're just trying to lean on the experience that you have and just seeing how it worked for other coaches and other teams that I've played on. Like drew a lot of my experience from Craig Berube when I had him in Chicago. I thought he was an excellent leader, and then Jay Woodcroft, the way he conducted meetings and the type of environment that, him and I created in Bakersfield, just with communication and the detail, really trying to emphasize important things, but not, too much at one time. And Woodcroft always talked about like building a hockey team is like building a sandwich. You start with your bread, you start with your foundation, and then, from there you try to add layers and, make it a hearty meal. So it's a process, but I really enjoyed it. I love the job. I love what it's all about. And certainly the new generation, not saying that I'm not a part of it, but just, your guys' age group, I think there's so much talent now, like, and there's so much,
so much different.
Yeah. Well, there's just so much experience. Like everyone now, you guys have so much information at your fingertips. You guys are bright, intelligent people. So it's just about your mind and kind of how you're thinking and trying to, get you guys, focused on little things instead of the big picture and just trying to stay present in each day.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to make a team now out of the players that that are like way better and skilled. I guess I wouldn't say better, but I'd say more skilled. Definitely way different.
Game has evolved a lot.
Faster paced game.
Yeah,
but agreed. But if you're skilled and talented, but you don't work hard, like it doesn't really matter.
That's another big thing. Yeah.
Every player has their role.
Yeah.
And you gotta, and everyone's gotta feel like they're a part of it. Like you gotta, doesn't matter whether you're, the equipment manager or the athletic trainer or the guy that comes in on game day and does the sticks and, helps with the equipment. Like it's like everyone's got to feel like they're part of the family and they're all, contributing towards, success. And I think that's for me what, that's what hockey's all about. It's about building a community and a culture, and that's where I think it starts.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. So what do we got?
If we take us back to April 9th in 2013, you scored your first career NHL goal. Do you remember who was the four skaters and goalie on the ice with you?
Who?
Tough question.
That's a good question. So I know it was Jamie McGinn, Tyson Berry
Yep.
and Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah.
I don't know who
The goalie.
I don't know who Tyson's D partner was, but I know I scored on Joey McDonald.
Yeah.
The goalie was.
The McGinn's D partner was Dred Zanon.
It was, yeah, it was. Yeah, what a beauty that guy was. What a beauty he had.
How do you say this last? The goalie.
And in the pipes, it was Jean-Sébastien Guillet.
Oh, it was Jiggy. Okay, yeah. So those are, those are 5 legends, like incredible teammates. Yeah, Jiggy he was awesome. Obviously, just his experience, and then Ginner and Factor and Tice. Like we had a great, we were all kind of young, and I was young in the league, and they were really supportive. The fact that I was on the ice with those two means I must have been playing pretty well at the time. And then
were they your line mates at the time?
They were, yeah. And then Tice is one of my best friends. Like we kind of came up together as rookies and spent a lot of time together in the minors. So it was, the plaque that they gave me, like with the puck or whatever, and it says like first NHL goal and like who assisted by it. My parents have it at their place back on the river. So the fact that those two guys are, the ones that assisted on it was pretty special and something. Yeah, I won't forget it. But now that's a good question. I'll never forget that now. Greg Zanon here. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah. What were you like when you scored that? Like, did you even like have a reaction almost? Like, what was your
I never did. I
wouldn't have known.
I scored that my last goal in the NHL. I got called up and I scored against Washington. Like third period, like great pass from Zach Cassian. And I just remember like even after Ken Holland was like, where was the big celebration? I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it was how I was raised or what, but I'm just like, act like you've been there before, even though I never have. But I just thought I didn't want to disrespect my teammates or the other team really. I do it the classic way.
Forgot you played with Zach Cassian. Did you take any lessons from him there for fighting? Or?
The lesson I learned is don't fight him.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, no, he's a southpaw. You don't do those. That's a bad gamble. You're not gonna no.
Heard those are the.
Do you ever plan on coaching in the NHL or trying to at all?
Yeah, I mean that's the goal, man. Like I guess like kind of restarting things as a coach now, just like a player. Like I just assigned a contract with Wilkes-Barre, so with the Pittsburgh Penguins farm team. So I'm gonna join their staff this year as an assistant coach and work with the forwards. And again, like I got a ton of experience in the American Hockey League as a prospect and as an older guy. So again, just excited to share my experience with a new group of guys and try and help that organization win at all levels.
Definitely.
Well, looks like
that's a wrap there. I think we might wrap her up there. It might be time.
We gotta get back to class.
You guys got to run any ad? You got any ads? Any like any sponsors? You got to run any?
No, we don't.
No.
We're not that big yet.
No, definitely not big yet. Now
trying to get there.
Where do we go for lunch all the time now? What's the spot at school? Where do we go?
Anywhere.
Anywhere,
honestly.
There's a lunch bus at our school, so some people go on that, but mostly people have their license. So a lot of people just go to across the river, go to Don's or Burger King or something.
Well, maybe you go contact those guys and be like, hey, listen, like we're doing big things. Like this is brought to you by.
Get Don's to sponsor us there,
My dad runs Dairy Queen. I'm sure we could work on some like free blizzards or something.
Yeah.
I was talking to your dad a few times there.
Yeah. I know him too,
Okay. Anyways, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Sorry for being late, boys. You guys have a great day.
No problem. Yeah, you too.
Yeah, have a good one.
Nice talking to you, Brad.
See you, fellas.
Thank you. Oh, it's not recording,